initiatives started in at all levels across the organization to ensure that everyone is having the right set of competencies to be able to perform well in the new structure, new direction in which the organization is really going. So in the first one, we did this part, right? In the second session, I shared with you about how to convert these learning needs which have been taken by you. Learning needs are, in fact, the outcome of the learning need identification is you have learning needs database, right? So somewhere in the database, whether it is in for a small organization, it is in Excel form, or it is in an ERP form, or it is in the database in whatever form. Don't have to bother about that. But what you have to do is, I mean, the form you do not have to bother about because somebody in the information technology department will be able to help you out that how the data will be. But how do you handle the data, and how do you from the data that learning you create what is called an training plan. Now, so how do you design major training in your coming period? When I'm using the word period, usually it is 1 year, but as many of the agile organizations are going ahead, they are not making 1 year plan, they are making quarterly plan. Because what happens is, whatever is the need today, if we cannot, fulfill in 90 days, bit of, I would say, too long a time that it is. More and more organizations are becoming agile, and I also recommend to the organizations that please make it a quarterly training plan, right? So what are the programs you are going to do, what is the type of learning events will be happens in the developing the training plan, right? Now, then we went on in the third webinar on what is called the behavioral objectives. And in fact, in the behavioral objectives, the approach of Robert Mager, and we had a so who would like to really speak about what are the 3 points, but this has to be kept in mind when you are writing the learning objectives of a training event or learning event. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Any volunteer to share Robert Mager's approach to writing? Yeah. Or shall I ask a specific question to one person? Okay. Kinshuk, did you attend this and do you remember? Unmute yourself. No response. Yeah, Divyajyoti, you want to say share? Yeah, go ahead.
So Robert Major was basically, we used his theory for developing behavioral objectives.
Yes. Sure.
And on that, we were to focus while framing the objectives. The 3 criteria basically was to keep the participants' behavior in mind.
Yeah.
As to, how is he going to be performing, and I mean, what we want, how the outcome has to be, the conditions of performance, and also the performance criteria as to do the analysis as to how well he has done the job, because only on that basis we'll be able to analyze.
Right. Absolutely fine. Very
this
good.
Is what it
Right.
was.
Yeah, that's right. So,
One thing in this process, I was just wanting to rather seek a little clarification. We also covered the 3 domains: the cognitive, psychomotor, and the sorry.
Yeah.
Just one more. I'm just not getting the. So
Yeah.
when we are framing the, using the, for framing the objectives, we always use verbs. So do we also refer to an affective domain? Because we basically covered the cognitive more on the Bloom's taxonomy, that was focused more on that. However,
Yeah.
you did tell us about the
Yeah.
psychomotor and the
Yes.
affective domain.
Yes.
But sir, I mean, framing of objectives on those domains also we work on,
Yes.
because
Simple answer is yes. Yes, we do that also, because there is no conflict between Robert Mager and the Bloom's taxonomy. What we are really doing is we are merging two of them, right?
yes, sir.
So
Yes.
yeah. In fact, Bloom's taxonomy is a refinement on what we will say on Robert Mager. So Robert Mager's basic three-step process remains valid, and taxonomy, in fact, further creates the refinement, right? So yes, and the verbs that we use would be different for the cognitive domain, psychomotor, and
Yes, because
affective
I
domain.
was
And
doing that, so that's how I came across. Yes.
yes, yes. And in fact, if you recall, I normally share this that when we are looking at in very high level of high quality performance from a person, the whole issue of attitude is also very important, right?
Yes, sir.
So in the attitude is going to get sort of covered in the affective domain part, right? So when we are looking
Yes,
at
sir.
that, then that's the aspect that we so when we are looking at competent, we typically look at these four parts: knowledge, attitude, or the habit. I talk of habit, I talk of we as values. So inculcation of values, adoption of the right attitude, all this will really make the performance a very superior performance. So that is where we will really look at that part also, right? So the behavioral objectives, yes, we did this Robert Mager, and then we went on and we did the Bloom's taxonomy for writing the instructional objectives, and in that we had 6 levels, and we only focused on the revised ones, you know. And then
Yes,
in
sir.
the next one we used, yeah, we used affective and psychomotor domains. We also looked at, successive approximation model and rapid prototyping, and I shared with you that the typical waterfall model that is ADDIE model is also what was being used, the model in the development of the software also. And in nowadays, in the environment in which we are, we don't go through that rigid type of model, but we go through what is called the successive approximation model. Quickly, we develop a prototype, and after developing a prototype, check out with the user, are you okay with it or you're not okay with it? So similarly, as a in what is done in the software, it is also done in the training. If a client or department, say for example, you are the learning and development manager, and sales department is saying, "Bhai, we need this type of initiative, and we want this type of initiative across our whole of India." So what you do is you develop a particular program, run a prototype, check out with your client, not as an internal customer, and check out with this: is it working, not working, looks good, not, what are your comments, etc., etc., all that, and then refine it. And then when your client is satisfied, that is sales manager or not sales manager, general manager sales is satisfied, then you say, okay, go ahead, let's really now roll it out on an all India basis. So that's what we do in the training also. So that's so okay. We looked at the process view of the training process, where we said that at each stage there is a clear what is called an outcome, which is a deliverable, right? So that's what we looked at, and I'm sure that you are aware of this, or you are versed with that, right? Then we actually, in the sixth session, we actually looked at how we can develop a training program for launching a new car. So maintenance, servicing and maintenance of the car, a new model. How do we develop a training program? And then we had a fairly good working from you, fairly good debate, and fairly good outcome of that particular session, right? After that, yeah, okay. After that session, we had one session on aligning training with the learning process. And here we use the Gagné-Briggs model of 9 events. And that was really getting into more like a designing the self, right? And then we looked at designing training for diversity, right? There we looked at the part that diversity of the that exists in our audience, that is in our participant group. So how do you design the training in such a way that everyone in the audience is likely to benefit from the program, right? So that was this. Then we, in the eighth session, is designing of formative elements in the session design, right? This now, in terms of execution of this formative assessment, you are going to learn much more about this in the presentation skills program, presentation skills paper in the second semester, because this time also Mr. Prabhat Varshney had done a fairly good job of that. What are the type of apps which are can be used there for formative assessment? How you can get a quick feedback immediately by using mobiles in the classroom itself, right? So those are the things which will come later on. However, how do you ensure that in the design itself there are in between you have built-in elements that you are checking? In fact, what you are doing with the formative assessment, you are checking who is understanding what, and am I going correctly? Is my or participant understand what are they are getting me? Are they in aligned with what I am doing, or or otherwise, right? So that's the thing that we did in eighth session. In ninth session, we looked at how do we ensure in the design of the training program itself to ensure that a better learning transfer takes place following the this particular learning event or learning that is happening, learning task, right? Remember one thing, a fairly large amount of learning that the people have is not in classroom. That happens on the job. However, if you say that every learn the job, that's also not correct. In fact, what is important is that what happens on the job and what happens in the in the classroom or in the training, in the formal training, they have to be very well aligned. And the one of the most important person who is forgotten in the whole bargain is who is the third person in the learning process. Uh, trainee is the first person, trainer is the second person. Who do you think is the third person who is critical to making the learning effective or making the learning actually, yeah? Me an answer?
I think organization is the third person, so who is finally getting the benefit out of this training.
Yeah, okay. Any other
Supervisor,
answer? Huh?
supervisor.
Yes, certainly. The boss is a trainee, supervisor. He or she is one of the most important person in the entire learning because if the if your trainee is going to do well, the result is going to be seen and also will be helping that person's because if your trainee is doing performing better, then his boss is also performing better, isn't it? Right? And we normally forget about the this third person, but he or she is one of the most important person in the learning process, right? In fact, large amount of learning that a person has depends on the actions of the supervisor. The type of task that is given, that is decided by the supervisor. How does a supervisor, a manager decides which task is to be given? Because that person, that manager knows this person is capable of this, and perhaps he is not all that capable of this. Let me give this as a trial. But in case he really needs some guidance, he would call that person that is your trainee or the employee in question, and will give him clearer instructions and how to do it, etc. He will tell, and then allow him to do it, right? And we'll be having a close watch on how well this employee is doing, and if the employee is doing well, that and it's a new task and a new way he is learned. A good supervisor will also give a feedback to him, appreciate him, and in case it is not getting done correctly, he will give him the negative feedback and also corrective feedback. So the correction, etc. Now all that is actually many times, we feel that who is I mean, as a trainer, it is my job to train the people. But remember one thing: the first person who has to train an employee is the manager himself or manager herself, right? And this is one aspect that as a learning and development manager we usually, and we always, all of us have give more importance to what we do rather than to others. But we are here as supporter. We are here as enabler for them to be able to do it. So the third pillar, the tripod, the third person, the third leg of the whole learning is this person, supervisor, and keep this person in mind, keep this person in the loop. It always helps, right? Okay, so that's how we have gone along, and we have done this now because I just recalled all this. Maybe some of you will be recalling some of the aspects which did not fully understand this. So go ahead and ask me whatever questions you come to your mind. Yes. Are there any questions? Or there are no questions? Right. Okay, so I am. Uh, is my voice clear now or not? No, my speaker is not working. Okay. Yeah. Hello.
It's clear, sir?
I clear. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. No problem. Because I was getting a message over here. Your speaker is not working. Please check your connection or use a different speaker, etc. Right. Okay. If there are no further Yeah.
I have one question.
Yes.
We have done several models for the instructional design, and we have seen that different type of models are suitable at different for various learners and in various occasions.
Yes.
In the current context, when things are changing, the model should be more agile, and lot of other new models which is not in our courses, they have gained momentum and they have come into picture. People have started switching on to Scrum and other ways to do so. How the instructional designer, as an instructional designer, if I'm asked like which model should I use for a organization which is highly agile and very volatile,
Right.
how should I go with that?
See, the first important thing that you have to see is which industry you are working in, and in that industry, which type of model is being used, right? So start from there. If there is a specific model which has been mostly used by that industry, then I think it will be better for you to follow that model, because this is a group where we have people from all different types of industry sectors. So we have focused on the ones which are widely used and across different industry sectors, right? Okay. So how do you use it? Check out in your industry which model is most popular. Plus also in your organization, which is the one which is being sort of used, right? And then focus on that model, right? Okay. Yeah. Next. So if there are no,
Sir,
yeah,
so
yeah, go.
not very specific to the learning content, sir. You have very nicely, briefly shared all the parts and very much concise picture now I have. So though we are not going to the center, so we are having a basic problems. Like now we have the sample papers also of the past years. So that will give an idea to have what kind of application questions that we should be clear with at this level. So how can we get those if we have it? So any ideas that can guide us?
Ritu,
I,
I have already shared it.
yeah,
Sir, I had the
yeah,
sample
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
and I had already shared it in our group. So Ritu, in case if you do not have,
Yeah, Arvind, I had those. I seen that, but then it was very few of them, and they different years of it. It was not in the continuity. So
Correct.
anything that your last past 3 years or past 5 years, if you suggest, else Arvind has already shared the few.
Okay, see, I have voiced my opinion
Yeah.
that this we can make them free of cost, right? And put it on this. But some of the people are saying that we have this is a source of our revenue, etc. So let's see. What I'll do is for this particular paper, you see, we are coming to the close, right? And as the schedule of the examination is announced, in that case, we'll have some extra sort of, these sessions. Of course, everything is optional here. So there we will actually discuss some selected questions from the past papers,
That's,
right?
thank you so much. Sir.
Okay.
Thanks. And we can
So
pay it
we'll do
also,
that.
sir. Can we pay and get it at the moment?
Yeah, you can always do
So
that.
whom should we contact for that?
Raghuraman, Meenakshi out, right?
Yes,
In
right.
fact, most of the time, limited number of people are there in the office of ISTD also.
Yeah,
ISTD office is nowadays open, but is there and who can help you and connect with that person. So in your case, for the paper, it will be Meenakshi and Raghu, and they will be able to help you and then you can check. There are enough hand sanitizers over there. No problem. Yes.
One last question. Has it been announced
What?
or it is yet to be announced? I'm
No,
not sure if
it
examination schedule.
is not announced. Right. Okay.
So for a scenario-based question, suppose when we are asked to develop a training design as per developing a training design,
Yeah.
so we move actually as per by step. So how do we address the development, implement, and right as per the specs in that for answering the question?
Okay. Uh, my simple recipe, whatever you have learned in this in these webinars. Then what you do is apply your common sense. Give an answer which you'll do at the implementation stage and at evaluation stage. Simple answers, because from the point of view of instructional design, one would not be looking at that aspect in greater detail, right?
Okay,
Right.
fine.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, I have seen in the previous year question papers, most of them they are like either scenario based or they are descriptive.
Yeah. So that's are they not very enjoyable?
No, no, they are very enjoyable. I mean, like
Yeah,
you know,
because
usually
they are challenging. You don't find them anywhere in the book also.
usually what I see is whenever as an instructional designer, one person sets a question, the questions are set in three ways. Like first, everyone can approach. Second, mediocres can approach. And third, people who are very intelligent and that done a depth study,
Yeah,
they
so
can approach.
we will
So
always get you will or we will means you and me, both of us will always get challenges which have never come earlier.
right,
So
right.
our questions also will be a few of question will always be which you have never read anywhere, right? And that's what it should be. Otherwise, what is the use of
Right, right.
having this sort of examination? How do we differentiate who is really say maybe 10% superior to others within your group?
So my
We come to know only from that type of
so my
questions and then answers.
my idea was to ensure that in case if people who actually attempt those questions which are depth based and learning based where you actually understood the concept and then implement it to
Yes.
some scenario, so
Yeah.
are they given privilege in while you are actually doing the assessment?
Yeah, in fact, given to me, I would like to have more and more of that type of questions only for a group like yours, because you are not a group of people, who are like college students or so.
Yeah, true, sir, true, sir.
So I would like to challenge you on terms of sort of, a new way, new situation, and in that, how do you come out with a new solution? And remember one thing, for these type of questions, there are no standard answers.
Right,
There can be two persons who can give fantastic answers, and those two fantastic answers can be totally different from each other. And believe me, both of them might get full marks, right?
right. They can be completely contrasting to each other.
Yeah, because as long as your answer is innovative, your answer is able to, and you are able to argue out in a fairly rational manner what you are doing and why you are doing it, you deserve the full marks, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's so I do get once in a while. I also get some answer sheets to assess, and I'm very liberal if I find there is a very innovative answer, right? So I don't mind giving full marks, right? So
Really
and
great to hear this, sir.
that should be true for other
Yeah, yeah.
assessors also. Yeah. Okay.
Sir,
Right.
actually, in our cognitive learning class, Mr. Banerjee, he said that we should be more conversant with the definitions, and we should be one
Yeah,
or two the definitions.
yeah.
So,
Basic should be always clear, na?
right,
They are the foundation,
right, sir.
right? Right. Okay. Once
Uh,
that should be clear. But now we are always looking at how do we apply this, right? So that is why we keep a bit of balance between the two, part A and part B. Part A is normally, with more of conceptual, and part B will be more application based. But then the question will be, we are having online, and we are typically don't want to sort of be very very much like proctor oriented. Proctor means कि हम हाँ टाइम पर यही देखते रहें कि भाई आप लोग नकल तो नहीं कर रहे या वो नहीं कर रहे, तो
right,
उसके लिए सिंपल सी चीज है कि क्या कहते हैं, क्वेश्चन शुड बी ऑल एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड,
right,
but
sir.
let's say no decision has been taken on that as yet, right? Okay,
Okay, sir.
so when the decision is taken, we'll let you know, right?
But
Sir,
it's
sir,
very nice to see that there would be a space for innovation for each and every candidate, sir. Thank you
say,
so much.
say that again, Ritu.
Thank you very much, sir. It's great to hear that this will give a space for innovation for the candidate in the question and answer, and you will concentrate on that. So it is very nice to hear.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because if you come up with a good answer, good innovative answer, you will certainly get 80% marks or maybe 100% marks on that question, right?
Thank
Okay, right.
hi,
Yes,
Namaste. I'm from Mayank from Ahmedabad.
yes, yes,
Uh,
Mr.
yeah,
Man.
happy Guru Purnima first of all, sir, and
Thank
just namaskar for
yeah,
whatever you are giving us
uh,
lessons,
yes,
right, teachings. And now,
yeah,
sir, practically, I'm being really confused for a couple of things. I'm seeing most of the people. Maybe my question found maybe here out of the place for the forum which
no,
we are talking right now.
no,
Basically, almost I see a lot of people here from HR background,
yes,
and a lot of terminology what we talk about the HR background. But I being a businessman for years and trying to pursue my little avenues now into the training,
yeah,
where for me HR is black and white. So
okay,
lot of time I'm facing a lot of issues in understanding all the terminology what has been talked. But as a matter of fact, whatever been topic are, I mean, we can understand. So how it would be impacting on the exam, as you are rightly said right now, that would be more on your innovation or more your understanding of the practical aspect of the point.
Mhm.
So will it be a terminology which will be mattering most? Because a lot of things in the books also is nothing there what we talked on the
yeah,
webinar. So for it's really difficult, and when I try to see the help, even on your YouTube recordings, I don't see on the list everything. So for me, how I don't know how to approach whom and to get the information to be prepared for the exam.
okay,
So can you just guide me as a layman, because all the people what you talked right now were all having a lot of information about the further examination and things. For
okay.
me, it is black and white. If you can just throw a light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can understand and empathize with you, because as a businessman, you would be in fact finding difficulty in also sparing time for all this. But
Yeah,
never
yeah.
mind, it's very good. See, the focus that we have here is not on only HR people. We have, because many of the HR people would like to enhance their qualification profile, so they would join this particular diploma. Our focus here is on making you a competent trainer, as simple as that. Because some of the people are from the L&D background, they are L&D manager, they are some HR managers. They may know a lot about things, and they might use terminology which might be sort of a little Greek to you. But never mind.
Right.
Let me tell you, when you go through the examination and you see the questions, whatever you have learned through these webinars and through your books, that is one. But most important thing is you apply your common sense, and
Okay.
see as a person, what will be the best which will be useful in this situation, and how can we really do something fantastic. In fact, I'll tell you one thing that there was I don't know how clear how correct it is or not, but I got a message from on the WhatsApp that Google has got many employees who have not done even college degree.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So many of the people who are in business may not have even completed a college degree or but they are doing quite well because see what happens is why they are doing quite well is because they are learning from the surroundings. Where there is a new challenge, they start learning it, right? And they don't bother with
Right.
whether they have the degree or they don't have this in the syllabus and all that. So please feel comfortable about this. In fact, one of the changes that we are likely to happen from the next semester or next course onwards is we are also building in what is called a foundational module for people who do not have basic understanding of the management or they have not done an MBA or equivalent type of say qualification earlier. Will have
Right,
a
sir.
foundational ones where we will in fact familiarize them with all the basic terminology, right? So I mean a challenge that you are facing, I've understood, and we are appreciate that, and we are bringing in those changes, but that will be from the next. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that would be for the next batch, right,
Next
sir?
slide. Yeah.
So for time being for this exam, coming exam, I am really little more tensed because looking at the all the people right now also people were talking about the uh, particular terminology and at that moment I feel I'm nowhere near to it. So and basically I can understand the concept when it is being taught.
Yeah.
So how to cope up with it?
Yeah. So point is right now don't bother so much about it. Focus on and appear in the examination. Hopefully, I wish you good luck. You will pass through the examination. In case you have a difficulty in one or two papers, uh, following the examination, you can always sort of again check out. We'll be able to we'll be happy to help you even individually, right?
Okay,
Mayankji,
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mayankji, this is Ritu this side. In case
Yeah.
we can be of a help to the peer, you can always call us. Will also enlighten our knowledge because your questions will be more insight to us. Anytime, sir. If you want my number, put on the chat.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
Also,
please share the number.
yes,
Right, right.
also don't need to fear because we are also not from HR. In 50 people, you will find only 10, 15 people from HR. Otherwise,
Right.
some people are from sales, some are different divisions.
Yeah.
And the people
No.
using
But like,
terminology are from the content of the teachings which Kaushal sir has imparted with this AD model. It is not with the HR. It is nothing to take with the AD model.
Yeah.
Like Robert, these all words they have already explained. So if you revise, if you will not revise, then you will see these are the new words. But if you will revise, these all are already covered. So it's just basic taking revision. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Ashwin sir,
Right.
thank you very much. You have actually made the subject so simple for us. Because from a sales background, I never thought that it would be so easy to understand. Though it is difficult, as Mayankji said, for training, development, program, design, yet to be looked in the book to have a little more clearer shape.
Yeah.
Yet you have made it a bit. Thank you all for what you have given to us.
See,
sir,
as yeah, yeah.
sir,
Go
my
ahead.
last question about this on the site, what we get this contact class schedule. There are not all the YouTubes are being listed. So how do we get the balance listed? Whatever the sessions has happened, how do we get the list of the YouTube links?
Okay, I explained this some time ago that Arun and Alok and Gurvinder are
Yeah, you told that. Yeah.
trying to see that every gap is plugged in and links are available. Right.
Okay.
I do hope in another 2 3 days
That's fine. That's fine.
this
2 3 days are fine.
this work will be completed and we'll take a review of this, right? Okay.
Thank you, sir. 2 3 days are good enough. Thank you.
Yeah. Right.
Kaushal sir, one question from my side, Sonika this side.
Yeah.
Sir, what is the passing marks for the exam? I mean, like 20 marks is for the assignment and 80 for the written paper. So out of 80, what is the passing marks? Like
50% is the passing marks.
okay, and which is standard for all the papers?
Yes.
Okay.
50% will be the passing marks, and your assignment marks are also added in the main examination,
So
right?
marks will be individually calculated. Like for the paper which is of 80 marks, you must score 40 marks.
They will be I don't recall how the mark sheet is given, but yes, certainly I think mark sheet should be marks obtained in the main examination as well as in assignment, right? Okay, and the total marks, right?
Sir, I just want to express my gratitude, for the all learnings. I believe, last 3 months before March, Mayank also mentioned, he is from.
अगली बार मैं झापड़ मारूंगी.
I am from.
5 बार प्यार से बोल चुकी हूँ, अलमारी लगाओ.
So I am from an IT background, sir, and I had no prior experience in HR. And I have seen last 3 months, have been very instrumental, where I have been technically talking about and understanding the, intricacies of HR, and not only HR but also about training and development. Also talking about strategies, because we have tried to take different perspectives of training and development from different angles, and actually that created a very immersive learning. And I'm very thankful for different approaches. Each one of you actually you showed us the path actually to.
Okay, thank you. It has been our pleasure. In fact, for all of you, wishing you all the best. Right, I will keep connecting with you. I'll at least have one more informal session on the this later on, right, before the examination, and I'll convey your feelings to, and your thoughts to my colleagues also, right? Let me tell you that some may have participated well, some may not have participated well, but the quality of participation that this group has shown has been tremendous. I mean, the way many of you have absorbed, many of you have really come up with a good understanding of this. It makes our heart feel very good. We feel very good, about this. So it's not only you who are happy about being with us and being in these webinars. We are also feeling we have done a lot of good work over the last few weeks or last 3 months, and we have also learned a lot in terms of how to deliver these things, and lots of experiments have happened, and there has been good learning. So on that note, I will be ending, and wish you all the best, and keep connecting. If there is any specific question, etc., you have my phone numbers and all that. You can always call me, but do it between 7 to 9 in the evening, because that's the time when I'm available more easily, right?
Sir.
Yeah. So shall we close it now?
Sir, can you share the number again? Can you share the number again?
Okay. My number is 8800.
Right.
73.
Right.
99.
Right.
53.
And you said 7 to 9 in the night, right, sir?
7 to 9. Because that's the time when I'm a little more free, and I can.
Yeah, I understand.
Attend to this.
Yeah,
It's there in the diploma brochure also. This number.